What's up? Yeah, got another video. In this video I'm just gonna like give you guys tips on how to convince your parents to let you get an e-bike, because there's some kids commenting like helping me trying to convince their parents and stuff. It took me a while for me to convince my parents. Like at first they didn't even want me to have like a Ridstar, and soon enough I'm probably gonna get a Talaria or a Light B. And you can always convince them, but yeah. Alright, so now is the first method. So the first method to use, I would say, is probably first of all, do the research on the bike you want to get, so you can give them like specs and stuff. Like, don't be like, Mom, can I just get an e-bike? Like, that's just so vague. And if your parents are already kind of saying no, then you have to know your specs and kind of give better reasoning to convince them. I would say, like, if you're getting say a Ridstar, if you want to get a Ridstar, tell them like top speed, tell them how far it gets you. Also, you could say like if your friends have the similar bike and you just want to ride with them too, because lots of kids at your school have them and you don't want to be left out, you know, that's a good reason. But know the specs of the bike you want to get first. I would say that definitely helps a lot, because then it's more in depth and better reasoning overall. Give them lots of reviews on the bike, like Saronster reviews or other like bike YouTuber reviews, so they can really see it from somebody else's point of view too. And keep winning. So the second method I would also use is, first of all, the first method I would say goes for all if you're trying to convince your parents, and the second one is tell your parents that you're gonna pay for it. Because if you go up to your mom convincing them, maybe sometimes they'll agree on paying for half of the bike, or maybe like some of the bike and you have to pay for the rest. But I would say definitely have, like, make your own money to pay for the bike for sure, because they're not just gonna buy an $1,000 bike out of convincing you. Or if you're trying to convince them and you have a birthday coming up, or it's like summer and you want to be able to ride, that's definitely a good reason. I would say birthdays, Christmas, those are definitely the best times to get bikes. But also, if you're trying to do this for Christmas, like, you're not gonna get much else, so just know that too. But I would say definitely offer to pay for maybe half or the full thing. So for my first e-bike, I got it for my birthday, but then I sold that, bought my Ridstar, and I paid for all, like, everything on my Ridstar. I paid for all the mods and stuff. And then I sold my Ridstar, bought a Super, and have paid for all of it since. And my parents are more like lenient to let me get what bike I want, because I'm the one paying for it, and they're not paying for much of it either, which will be nicer on them, because it also kind of teaches you how to make money, which is of course an amazing like tactic, like learning how to make money like that. And you know, that's great for literally any young teen, because they can pay for your mods, you can pay for your bike, and then you can just mow lawns, and then you kind of start up a business, and then you're making lots of money, which is always good. Like, why wouldn't you want to be making money, you know what I mean? For the second tactic, just make sure you're paying for at least half or some of it, because then they won't feel like it's just a random thing. Or do it during your birthday or Christmas. And the third method I would say would be, it teaches you how to make money. First of all, I already mentioned that. It teaches you responsibility to clean your bike, make sure you charge your battery, and most of all, it gives you kind of like a freedom. Like, ever since I got my bike, like literally just before I filmed this video, I just went outside and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna ride. It gives you so much more freedom to go out and do stuff. And first of all, it gets you off your phone. Like, whose parents don't complain about them being on their phone a lot? Like, if you have screen time, like, it's just nice. You get to go outside tons and just enjoy it. And especially spending time with your friends, you get to ride with new people. I've made probably so many friends just through bikes. and it just gives you more freedom to be outside and kind of go wherever you want. If you like fishing, like the reason I got my first e-bike honestly is just because I could go to fishing spots more. And it's also like, yeah, it just teaches you responsibilities on how to make money. It teaches you responsibility to make sure your battery's charged, make sure you clean your bike. And me personally, if you're gonna be modding your bike, I've learned so much about like literally just fixing up things, like just from this bike. Like when I took my whole Ridstar apart, I learned so much about like just like wrenching on things. It's such a good skill to have, like for later on in life too. And I've just learned a lot from this bike, which is so amazing. Like you learn so many valuable skills just from a bike, which doesn't sound like it's true, but trust me, like it's so true.